Hi, everyone. This is Judy with Altium's On Track podcast. Thanks for joining us again today. Today we have a short and sweet bonus episode, and I'm going to do this with my friend Annie Shaughnessy from Design 007 magazine, who I used to work with, by the way, so we are former colleagues. And today I thought I would turn the microphone over to Andy's skilled interviewing abilities and let him actually interview me asking about AltiumLive. So I thought I'd let Andy, pick my brain a little bit and straighten out some information so everyone in the audience is clear about what we're up to. So Andy, the microphone is yours. Take it away. Thanks for joining again.
Hey, thanks for letting me do this, Judy. Always good to see you.
Always good to see you, my friend.
Glad we're still speaking after working together. Not everybody wants to. So you have a couple of these Altium Live events coming up, and I thought it would be good to just talk about them for a little bit. Like if you just, I understand there's one coming up in San Diego in October, and one in Munich, I believe, in January. Right. Why don't you just give us an idea? What are some of the things we could expect at, let's say the San Diego event? Who are some of the speakers, and what are some of the things you have planned?
Well, you're right. We're only like 5 weeks away from the San Diego event, and we're working here like tremendously hard. And our basic goal is to actually provide an event that is for designers. And of course, we'll roll out a couple products, but for once not to beat like our brand drum, right? And to actually stand for giving resources to the designers that are hardworking, that are hard pressed for time and bandwidth. And so the keynotes we've lined up are fabulous. Two you will know right off the top of your head, Andy, which is Eric Bogatin. And he's now with Teledyne LaCroix. And the infamous or famous Rick Hartley, who is a signal integrity guru. So those are just, no one gets enough of Eric or Rick at any conference. So we have those two joining us. And then I've sort of bookended those with a really young guy, an up and young guy, Jeremy Blum, he was actually part of the team that helped develop Google Glass. He has a huge YouTube channel and personal website. He kind of branded himself when he was young and did lots of Arduino stuff, all kinds of stuff when he was much younger. And now he's with a startup called Shaper Tools. And they make a handheld CNC. I'll share the link below because the machine is amazing. Has 11 circuit boards integrated into this handheld tool. It's super cool. And he is such a sharp young designer. He's going to make everybody feel good that we really will have some designers to fill the older guys' designer's shoes. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have Bill Hurd, who was one of the original architects of the Commodore 128. So he has, he was on a first name basis with Wozniak. They were going to war back in the day with Apple for the dawn of the first home computers. So there's so much fun history, kind of crazy Wild West stories. And so I feel like we all sort of stand on the shoulders of people like Bill Hurd. So those are the four speakers. And then because we did such a good job last year of not promoting ourselves and allowing users to present, us to give professional development courses, really, if you weren't an Altium designer user, you could come and be benefited and not feel like you cheated on your tool.
Right.
But we did such a good job that the exit surveys told us, geez, we wanted a little more training on Altium Designer, the tool. So we added a third day on the front end called University Day, and we have, I think, 12 tracks that is just dig into the tool. And in parallel on that day, Lee Ritchie is teaching a high-speed design course. So on the front end, you kind of have the big, deep, meaty stuff, and then over the 2 days, you've got, best routing practices, stack up, the day-to-day, HDI Flex, those kind of things. And then we have 12 either user track or supply chain track. So it's just packed with great information. And the funnest thing we do is we do a robot build and battle, which everybody loved last year. You know what? Open the bar, let him build robots. It was a blast. So that was a very long monologue I just gave you, but there's been some confusion about adding that university day on. Like, what is that? And do I go to 3 days or 2 days? So, anyways, does that all make sense?
That's just funny that, I mean, you have so much stuff that's for designers at large that then the Altium people are like, hey.
They're like, I thought we were coming to an Altium designer conference. Like you forgot something. And and it was like not a small amount of people. It was a significant enough amount of people. Yeah. But we really, again, wanted to be pro designer because there's just not a lot out there anymore, training resource-wise for EEs that are laying out boards or just pure printed circuit board designers. There's just not a lot out there anymore. And so...
And you got a lot of people. You got like 200 or 300. I mean,
yeah, in each location. So we had like 250 plus in each location last year, which tells you there's a hunger for it. And we're hoping to hit like 500 or something in San Diego. It'll probably be around the same size in Munich, but time will tell.
That's more circuit board designers than they have at DesignCon or any of the other events that attract designers. I mean, they don't get 200 or 300 designers.
Well, yeah, you don't, because again, it's not really just for them. It's always mingled with design and assembly, and design and assembly, from a trade show perspective, you can get more money out of capital equipment people for a big trade show than a one-off designer who's a consultant. It's kind of been disenfranchised a little bit. So, or one department.
It sounds like you're almost trying to, to facilitate or to help IPC and other organizations along that are just not able to do this kind of thing. One of the benefits of, I guess, being a company instead of an organization. I mean, what are your plans? It sounds like
our goal is to build a design community. I did a podcast with our COO, Ted Pawella, in which he sort of revealed that Altium's long-term plans is to actually build some things into our tools that will create continuity between design, fab, and assembly, which are notoriously disconnected. And there's, a lot of time waste and misunderstanding and frustration in that process. So we're going to talk about that, but our ultimate goal is to build a community, not only to roll out our grand plans and, think we're so cocky that we're going to just tell you how it's going to be, but to build a community that can open up the dialogue. And, we put the whole supply chain there as sponsors. And when we all get together, we can start tossing around ideas. And I think we all have pieces of the puzzle, but unless we have a community to bring together, how are we ever going to get those pieces together? So, well,
it definitely sounds, it's not just a typical user event. I mean, we've all been to those, and they're a lot of fun, but you ring the bell for your company. And I just thought it was really interesting. I talked to people last year who were Allegro users or whatever, and they were like, oh, I learned some stuff, so it was
which is great. I'm glad the message got out, right, that it really is for all designers. And we've got over 100 people, the high-speed course with Lee Ritchie, I think, is sold out or near sold out. University Day's packing up, and so early registration looks really good, and I know that people naturally procrastinate. The people that are from out of the area have all booked. And then I think people that are somewhat local or an hour hop away, I think we're going to see sort of a vertical spike here in registration. And so we're trying to keep it, we're going to bang our drum. We're going to roll out Altium Designer 19. We're going to talk about what we hope the future will be of sort of an integrated, cohesive, this continuity across the entire, soup to nuts from concept to full product development. And so, we're going to give the first sneak peek into sort of our vision, some of the acquisitions we've made to help facilitate that. But we're really clear that we're not going to do this in some egotistical way, that we need a community, in which to do it. And we need to serve our community so we can continue to build a sustainable business so we can do these great things. So.
Right. Well, it helps doing it in San Diego, for one thing. I mean, you've got
it's not bad there.
A built-in base there.
And it's like on Coronado Bay, the hotel we're in has water on 3 sides. It's glorious, and because of the size of our event, I think we'll pretty much dominate the hotel. So it'll be like camp for PCB designers on Coronado Island, It's like, who thunk it? Like, who would ever know we'd come up with that kind of plan?
That sounds scary. That'd be interesting.
The Gigathon, yay!
Yeah. Well, I think we covered all the stuff I had wanted to mention. I think we covered most of the stuff.
We're really happy.
What about Munich? How about Germany?
And Munich is identically the same event in Munich. We had a wonderful event there last year. It was so well received. The only reason we've sort of got our sights on making San Diego our flagship event, and and then Germany, and if all goes well, perhaps we can expand that to other areas to make it accessible, more easily accessible for people. But this is just our second year, so right now we're just trying to get the message and the word out and explain to people what it is, what's available. And I've sold to designers and engineers my whole career, and these are hardworking people who, I don't know, I just have a lot of compassion for them. And so that I get to do this job is just dream job for me. I love it. So,
well, they're finally, the good thing is designers are getting recognition as being, important in the company, because for years, when I first started, they were the redheaded stepchild.
Totally.
In some companies still,
I know. So, and we kind of love that. I love that personally, but this company kind of loves being the champion of the underdog designer, because we think that person is the glue that holds it all together. So we kind of love
wagon. I think Mary Sugden said the hub of the wagon wheel.
There we go. So we're really glad to have you guys covering it, because you did a phenomenal job. You didn't get to join us, Andy, but I'm super excited for you to join us, because I would just like your perspective. I think you'll be surprised, and to have your eyes there will be really fun for me.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and glad we got to talk about it.
Yeah, me too, Andy. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for taking over the microphone today. And
sure. Hey,
being the host of you're the first guest host of the On Track podcast.
I'd much rather ask the questions.
That makes you the host.
I know. Okay.
Well, thanks again for asking and being patient with all my excitement about AltiumLive. We'll look forward to seeing you soon. Again, this has been Judy Warner with the Altium On Track podcast, and Andy Shaughnessy of Design 007 magazine. We'll talk to you or see you next time. Until then, always stay on track.